Yo, what's going on? This is Sak Pase here with a product review on the Sasquatch Kick Machine by Boz Digital. It is a really dope plugin that essentially can turn any kick into an 808 or just add bottom to a kick that does not have any low end to it. A lot of times you might have, the right kick, the right punch, right top end, but it doesn't have any bottom to it. And adding, another 808 sample, sometimes it works, but sometimes you might have some rubbing situations or some things that'll cause it to be out of phase because the samples aren't lined up exactly together. And, it just creates these, low end issues, right? Well, you can just throw this plugin on and it'll essentially help you with this low end situation. So we're going to go ahead and get a kick. I'm going to copy and paste it, loop it. I'm going to turn this down so it doesn't blow your speakers. So as you can hear it, it's a really punchy kick, nice top end to it, not really a lot of bottom to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Sasquatch Kick Machine, throw it on there. When it first pops up, you have these three parameters: click, umph, and direct. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what click does. I've never used it. I've turned it on and off, but I just don't see what it does. So I'm going to just leave that one alone. You're welcome to research it, and when you find out what it does, you let me know what it does. The next one is umph and direct. I wanted to focus on direct first. Direct is essentially the dry signal. So you can turn it down, you can turn it up. You can hear. And that's pretty much what it does. You click on the edit, and there are some cool things that you can do with the tone. I don't really mess with this part of the direct section, but I can just show you briefly what it does. You can high pass it, which is really dope when you're talking about automation or the resonance, right? Let's see, don't remember what that was on. Another low pass situation here. So these are a couple things that I don't really mess with, but there's some extra things that you could do that could be really dope with automation. Next is the umph. Now this is essentially what adds the 808 low end personality to a kick that you have that just doesn't have any bottom end to it. So you go on umph, you can hear off, on. You can turn it up, turn it down. This is dope because you can kind of play with the balance between the dry signal and the affected signal. And let's talk about this section here. Tone, dive, and harmonics. We'll start with tone. Tone is essentially the frequency, and I think this is really important because a lot of people don't know that if you have a song in the key of C and you have an 808 or a bass that is in F sharp, you're going to create a whole lot of rubbing issues that's going to muddy up the low end side of your mix. It's going to be really muddy, really bassy, no clarity, no definition, and you're just going to be trying to overcompensate in other frequency areas. So knowing the key of the song that you're in will really help with figuring out the key that the bass should be in, right? So I think the frequency and target note is always related. If you know that the key is in C, your frequency is 261.6, right? If it's in B, it's in frequency is 123.5, right? So you can kind of hear it. Here. You can hear the low end that it adds to it. Now, the sustain is where you'll start to hearing the kind of like the 808 bottom to it, the really low end, and the decay is essentially the release. Don't want that to be too loud. So you can essentially change the sustain, the decay, and now you have an 808. Right? Turn that down a little bit. Now, the dive is essentially it's kind of self-explanatory. You'll hear it essentially dive. Kind of this sloping effect to it. I don't really mess with this part of it, to be honest with you. Like I said, kind of use it for really one thing. Harmonics kind of just adds different tones. Different things that you can do to it to mess with the harmonics. I don't ever mess with any of that. I kind of just cut it on, put my umph on, and now I have bottom end on a kick that didn't have any bottom end. So that's essentially it, man. Like I said, Sasquatch Kick Machine, I use it to add bottom end to any kick. It's a really affordable plugin. I think it's under $100. You can go to Boz Digital Labs to kind of double check that, but it's a really versatile tool, really simple. I really like simple plugins that don't kind of interfere with you being creative, and it's affordable. So that's pretty much it, man. You can follow me on Instagram at Sak Pase 365. You can go to facebook.com/Sak Pase 365. A lot of times I'll go on Facebook Live and do sessions, or make a beat, or whatever Q&As that you guys might have for me. You can also go on Twitter at SAK_PASE. I'll do some Q&As there. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to kind of review, or any input or advice that you might be looking for. You can also go to my website at sakpase.me. I have a blog on there. I also have any new information that I have going on with me, any new records that might have just come out, looking to support, or go to youtube.com and subscribe at Sak Pase 365. And that's pretty much it, man. Appreciate y'all.